We're live. I don't know if he's sleeping or not. Brian's hoping Kevin's going to make an appearance tonight. We'll have to see if he's at work and watching at work, or if he's in bed snoring. So
every now he sneaks in.
Yeah, every once in a while he does. So we have Brian Wahl with us tonight, and Brian is from Chicago, the Chicagoland area, and he's going to talk to us about his recent trip to Disney and the benefits of renting a vacation home versus staying in a hotel. Hi, I'm here. I don't know who I'm is. You have to tell StreamYard. Give StreamYard permission to know who you are. Then I'll know who you are.
Hello, Facebook user.
I got another one. Oh,
another Facebook user. Hey.
Oh, another one.
Facebook users.
Oh, I know who it is. It's that guy from the Isle of Wight.
Oh, it's the guy from the Isle of Wight. It's Kevin.
Oh, my guy.
Must be.
Are you wearing a Dub-de-Dub t-shirt right now, Kevin?
He's watching Tim Tracker. It's not the Tim Tracker show anymore. It's the Jackson Tracker show now.
The Jackson Tracker show. Yes, it is the Jackson Tracker show.
I actually have a funny story about Kevin Curtis Allen, and it's really quick.
We all have funny stories about Kevin Curtis Allen.
So like 2 years ago, hey Travis, what's up? 2 years ago, I was on the sock company called Stance released these Toy Story socks, and it was like Woody and Buzz Lightyear and a couple of different ones, and the Buzz Lightyear ones were sold out, right? And so I don't know how I got connected with Kevin, but Kevin's like, the only place they were available was in the UK, and so I asked Kevin to buy me a pair and send them to me. Well, he bought me a pair of these Buzz Lightyear socks, and he sent them in this huge box full of like all kinds of Kevin Curtis Allen goodness, like treats. All kinds of treats from the UK. It was super cool. Like, it was so nice of him. And my daughter and I, we opened it up and we literally tasted everything in the box.
That's awesome. So, didn't you do that? Yeah. Didn't you talked about that on one of Kurt's podcasts, didn't you? Because I know.
We actually did it. We did a Facebook Live on the Geek and Great.
Must have been it. That must have been what I watched.
I still don't like Marmite, but most of everything else that he sent was pretty delicious.
Ben Chesler is in the parks today. Speaking of people wearing Disney Crush t-shirts, that's Ben Chesler. Not to be
that confused. Looks a little modified.
Not to be confused with his evil twin, Glenn Kessler. So, happy birthday, Tom! Today's Tom Ellison's birthday. Tom. And Tom recorded it with us last night. So this week's podcast will feature Tom Ellison talking about his 4-day trip at Coronado Springs. And we're really looking forward to that. We're excited about that show. So a little bit of housekeeping. Next week, there will not be a podcast because of Thanksgiving. Michael's here. But there will be a live stream next Tuesday night with Mandy Malinowski talking about her recent trip back to the parks for the first time, and she went and she had to be tested because in New York you have to be tested, and so we'll talk a little bit about that and share her pictures. And Michael's here. Kevin's watching.
I feel like Mandy's always there.
She hasn't been since last.
Yeah, it's been a long time since she's been there. So
yes, you can have 2 gift cards and a calendar and a Sharpie for Christmas.
Thanks.
All right.
Vegemite.
That's a deal.
So, Brian, you were telling us right before that you did come down in July.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about the thought process there. Were you did you already have a trip planned before the pandemic, or?
Yeah, so we actually we usually go every summer. My wife is a teacher, and so we usually go at the end of July, the beginning of August, and we had planned a really big trip. Like, we were like 10 nights.
Oh wow!
We were staying at Pop for half of it, and then we were staying at the Polynesian for half of it, and we've never stayed at either. We had reservations to do Hoop-de-Doo, which we had never done. We just like so many new things planned, and then COVID came in like February, March, and I was just like, you know what, it's gonna be fine. By the time July gets here, it'll be, it'll be over and done with, right? Yeah. So I was way off on that. So Disney closed, and my wife and I really kind of just we talked about it a lot, but we just kind of made the decision that we'd probably have to skip it this year, just because number one, it was closed, and then when they reopened, we weren't sure what it was going to look like. And then when we finally found out, what kind of specifications and what kind of modifications they were going to be making when the parks reopened, we just decided that it wasn't for us. It didn't make sense. For us, I didn't think I could spend 8 or 9 days in the parks wearing a mask. And especially after like what we experienced when we actually did go. I think we're glad we made that decision. And so what we did is we started thinking of what other things could we do, right? So we had airfare. We were going to fly down to Orlando, but we ended up canceling our airfare. We were on Southwest, so we got credit, which is totally fine. So we decided we would drive down because my mom lives in Florida. So we're going to spend a week visiting my mom, and then we're going to spend a week up in Orlando. But we really weren't sure where to stay. We had looked at doing maybe staying on Disney property, but then looking at all of the things that we could and couldn't do, I was like, it doesn't make sense to do that. If we're going to spend the money and we're going to be there for 7 days, let's get our money's worth and find something that makes sense. So we started looking at vacation homes.
Okay.
I never stayed in a vacation home because every time we'd stay on.
Are you getting Brian?
Mm-mm.
We lost your audio, Brian.
Can you hear me okay?
Now we can.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You said you'd never looked at vacation. The last thing I heard was you'd never looked at vacation homes.
Yeah, we've done vacation homes for other things, like for renting a cabin when we go up north. But whenever we go to Disney, we always stay on property. We've never ventured off property before, or never stayed off property before. So this was all new to us. So I started looking, and there's so many different websites, and you would think, and so as a travel agent, I book specifically like Disney World. Like I've ventured into doing some other things, but mainly just doing Disney World. And so that's what I know,
Right.
So I didn't really know anything about the rental home game. And it's just that there's so many things to consider. Right. There's so much to consider, and so many different companies you can rent through. And for us, what was really important
Brian,
was staying somewhere. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay. For us, it was important to find something that we wanted, a gated community, because we weren't really sure, we didn't want to just rent some random house in a random neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't know who that Facebook user is that just posted
Lion King.
Lion.
Probably Kevin. Probably Kevin.
Kevin.
Someone's messing with you, Brian.
That's all right.
I can't believe that they would do something like that. That's kind of not very nice of them.
It's not like I had a picture ready to go over Brian's face.
Oh.
I know. Can you believe it?
Leave Brian alone.
Bad. I don't love The Lion King. I like the movie. The movie is great. The original movie, I love that.
It's the festival of The Lion King Brian doesn't like.
The festival that I just can't get on board with.
Okay.
Sorry. I had to do it. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. I love it.
Now it's out of the way. We won't bring it up again.
Okay.
So how did you find this particular home?
Yeah, it's crazy. So you guys have heard of WDW Today, right? The WDW Today podcast. Yeah. Well, I was listening to that show from the beginning of time. It seemed like when there was 2 Disney podcasts, like Lou Mangello and WDW Today, which I don't know, 2004, 2005.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so there's a new cast took over the show, and the host of the show now is Logan Sekulow. And I was listening to the show one day, and he owns this rental home in Reunion Resort. Okay. And he he just put it out there because, and this was like probably May, April or May, and so there were still some restrictions on vacation homes, and he had lost a lot of people that had booked with him had ended up canceling because they weren't going to the parks, and so, or they were staying home, they were quarantining at home, and so he was like, look, I have this vacation home. It's called the Airbnb, like a little play on words.
Airbnb, right?
The Airbnb, which I thought was kind of cool. And he's like, look, if you're a listener, reach out to me because we have tons of openings and I'm wheeling and dealing. So, call me up. And it was funny because we had something booked. We actually had a house that we had already booked. And so I told my wife, I was like, well, I showed her the website, and like the place has 5 bedrooms.
Five bedrooms.
I think 7 beds, five bedrooms. It has a media room with like old school video games like Pac-Man and
I've got it. I've got that.
Like all the Centipede, like all these old school
oh, how
games.
Cool! That's so cool.
It's got like an air hockey table and that's the tiki room. So that was like upstairs. They had like, it was like themed to the tiki room. So like those birds in the corner lit up. They had like little decorations from like the Polynesian, just like really cool things here and there. And one of the cool things about the house too is that they have hidden Mickeys hidden all over the house. So like the kids got a kick of looking for those too.
So I think that's another room with video games and an air hockey table. Dave, we got to get in this house.
I know they got Pac-Man. Are you kidding me? I used to play that all the time.
I know, right?
And that's the pool. That's a private pool behind, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that was important to us too, right? Like we didn't want to have to go to like a community pool because number one, there were still a lot of restrictions going on in Florida. And so we wanted a place where like if we had to spend the week in quarantine, like let's find a really fun place, right? So when we found the Airbnb, I jumped on it. But so what I did was, I'd messaged Logan. I was like, look, man, I have this place booked already through Vrbo. But if you want to match the price, I'd love to stay at your place as opposed to this other place.
Right.
And he was super flexible and like really cool about it, and like ended up giving us the Airbnb for what we were paying at this other place, which was like, it was a really good deal that we got. Yeah.
So let's flip through some of these pictures. We saw the pool. Yeah. That's more. So they have a barbecue there. I see. Is that right?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time on that patio, and it was cool because the pool overlooks, right behind it is a Jack Nicholson golf course. I think there's a few golf courses there, but like that was our view from the pool, and those places across the fairway, like we thought were like, are those like boutique hotels? Like that's someone's house. Like
that's
those
someone's
are like
house.
Yeah. Someone lives there. I don't know if someone lives there, but I think those are rentals too.
Yeah. So not enough can be said about being able to park your car right outside your unit, because it's so much easier than lugging your luggage across the parking lot of Pop Century. I just have to say that. So.
And parking, and you don't have to pay for parking,
right?
Either,
so
which is a bonus.
We saw the pool table, and that's another view of the pool. More. Okay, so here's your full kitchen, right?
Yeah, it was a big kitchen. Again, this house was like tons more room than we needed, obviously. Yeah. There was, I think, 4 master bedrooms. So both of my kids, my son is 12 and my daughter's 9, and they both had a master bedroom. 2 of the master bedrooms have like incredible views. Like the one faces out front, and then the other master faces the back of the house, so looking over the pool and the golf course. And that's the room that my wife and I had. And and that was just so much space. So just what we weren't used to.
Mm-hmm. A little bit different than being in one room at the Pop.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, yeah, and again, so we usually, like when we stay on property, we usually stay at either Art of Animation in a family suite or French Quarter. And so, we're used to more often than not, we're, at a place like French Quarter or a Value. And so we're not used to having all this space, but yeah, so that was a cool, just like a little game area, card table, on the second floor in that little tiki room.
Mm-hmm. Here's a room for the Avengers fan in your family.
Mm-hmm.
So is that like an upstairs balcony, like an?
Yeah, so that was the view that my daughter had outside of her room. So that's facing the street. So that's facing the front of the house. But I mean, what I really liked was the fact that both of those balconies both had ceiling fans. So and then that porch out back that had a ceiling fan as well.
That's an inside joke between me and Amanda. That she's putting up there. Is that the room you're in?
Another. Yeah, that's the master that faces the golf course, the pool.
Nice.
Oh yeah, so it was like upstairs in like a little nook. It was just like this little princess area. Like, so my daughter would sit there and just like pretend to put on makeup and sit in front of the mirrors and just like, be a princess, play with the little, they had little toys on there too.
Now, a Facebook user just asked, was this the West Gate? Is that something with Reunion Resort?
We were near Champions Gate. Okay. But so this resort, I think it's a community where like there's a resort. So there's like a big hotel, and then there's these other vacation homes all scattered throughout the property. But I mean, it's massive. I mean, it's a really big property. But it's really close. It was, I don't know, I think maybe 8 or 9 minutes from Disney Springs.
Wow. Okay.
So it was a quick little jaunt up to Disney property.
Yeah.
And we did that a few times.
There's the barbecue you're talking about, and
yeah, I mean, we love that. And again, because like, so sitting outside and having those ceiling fans and being able to stay cool and just like hang out by the pool. So the one thing that, I'm not familiar with Westgate.
No, this is Reunion. This is Reunion Resort.
Yeah.
Oh, and I didn't realize there was like theater seating in the game room.
Yeah.
Wow. Dave, we got to go there.
I know. It's really, I could spend a lot of time there and be very happy.
We wouldn't go to the parks if we were staying there.
I might not want to. So, I mean, I might want to go for a little bit, but I think I might want to spend just as much time at the house right there. Yeah.
So if we sit there, you can watch like The Mandalorian or Star Wars. We could have a Star Wars movie marathon day.
Not so much. Maybe something.
And you know what? That's an older picture that I think I pulled off of the website because they do have some artwork up now, and they're like paintings, and one of them is one of the pictures is Mandalorian. So, and I think one's the child.
You just gave me a great idea. Yeah. Good idea, Tom.
Tom wants to book it for G3. So how many geeks could we fit in that house, Brian?
Well, I said, it's got 5 bedrooms and 7 beds. Yeah.
And some of the beds,
Ellen could sleep on the floor somewhere or outside.
Absolutely. And right. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
All right. So okay. I don't want to put you on the spot and ask you exactly what you paid, but compared to, what do you think you paid close to what you'd pay at a moderate, at a deluxe, at a value?
Okay. I will tell you that I paid less than $2,000.
For how many nights?
For the week.
Oh, for a week. That's wonderful.
That's not bad at all. That's not bad. But that could change by now.
You said he was wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, at the time he was wheeling and dealing. And I think, and obviously with anything, rates change through the season, but through seasons. But I know that like I've talked to him, and he works directly with travel agents too.
Okay.
And so, if you're a listener of the show, or if you go through me or another Fairy Tale Concierge travel agent, you can get a pretty good deal. I'm not saying you're going to get the same deal that I got, but
right. Well, it was
very
July
flexible
in a
especially
pandemic.
now, just because. Yeah.
Well, Brian, we brought you on. We want people to call you if they want to book this. So I mean, but if you have another travel agent you work with, you can call your travel agent too. But so you were there for.
There's a lot of. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No, you said there was a lot of what?
I was just gonna say there's a lot. I mean, obviously there's a lot of vacation rentals in Reunion Resort. But it's like, okay, so I know the owner, right? I know what to expect. I knew that it was going to be clean. I knew that it was going to be well kept.
Right.
I knew that I could trust the person that I was renting from, which goes a long way.
It really does.
It's a big deal.
Being that he's a podcaster, he's not going to have a gross house because the word would get out and people would, right.
Right, it's true, right?
It is, right?
But like when you're looking to because when you're on Disney property, like you have expectations, right? Like you know what to expect, and you have a very high level of expectations, and that's kind of how we felt.
Right.
So going in knowing what we were going into, as opposed to just renting any random house on an Airbnb or Vrbo, it was just kind of put your mind at ease that that it's legit. Everything will work out. So
yeah.
Now you said the guy that owns the house is a podcaster.
Yeah. So WDW Today.
Okay. Yeah.
It used to be like Len Testa and Matt Hochberg, Mike Scopa, and then the cast changed. I don't know how many years ago, but the cast changed. So he's the host of the show now.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've heard of them and heard them talking about his rentals and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have a list of about 80 podcasts I frequent.
Dave is a podcast almost as bad as Kevin Curtis Allen, but
it's really
not
bad.
quite.
You don't have to dwindle them down.
You don't have the T-shirts from every single one though. No.
I actually dwindled them down a little bit. So.
Yeah, I thought about if I should wear my Geekin shirt tonight, but I didn't.
That would have been appropriate. No, that would have been totally appropriate.
That'd have been great. You should have done it. We're
actually going to be on the Geekin podcast in a couple of weeks. So.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. So So my sister, she has to travel a lot for work, and one of the places she goes a lot is Orlando, and she stays in Story Lake, which is another community, and I went and visited her. She was in a villa with a pool, and she said it was less than $100 a night. So there are deals out there, especially if you have a big family, because when you get up until the 6 people thing, and you've got to think about the suites at Disney, it gets costly. It really does. It really does, especially in this day and age where the economy is in question, and people have to save their money. People think it's a big hassle driving to the parks. What do you think? I don't think it is, but what do you think, Brian? Because you did go to the parks one day.
Yeah. So, and we went to the Springs a few times too. I mean, from where we were to get to the Magic Kingdom, I think took like 13 minutes, like literally 13 minutes. And
if you're staying at Animal Kingdom, if you're staying at Animal Kingdom Lodge, it could take you more than 13 minutes on the bus.
Oh, it's definitely going to take you more than that.
Yeah. If you're staying at Art of Animation, sometimes it can take you longer to get to Magic Kingdom on the bus.
And the thing people don't understand is also not only the drive time, but you're waiting in line for the bus, and you might not get on the first bus. Whereas when you take your own car, everybody in your family has a seat, and you get to leave when you want to and go back when you want to. You don't have to wait for a bus or so.
You control the air conditioning. You control what you're listening to get there, right?
And nobody has to stand. A Tim Tracker shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna officially write a letter to Who is that? Oh, it's Tom Ellison.
Tom Ellison, yes.
He is now banned from the Disney Crush.
Give him a ban for his birthday. That's what he wanted. So you went to you said you went to Disney Springs, and you sent me some pictures. It looks like you went to Celebration too.
Yeah, we did, which
was
really great. Celebration was really cool.
Where'd you eat?
We've never been there.
Did you eat in Celebration? There's a lot of really good restaurants in Celebration.
We did. I believe it was called the Celebration
Town Tavern. The Celebration Town Tavern is one of my favorite off-site places to eat. It's like
it was great. It was so good. And so let me tell you something. So our first night in the house, we actually ended up we had a reservation at Boathouse. Because my wife and I we'd only been there once before, but we loved the Boathouse. So we went that night, and I was a little surprised. I mean, so this was the end of July when COVID was surging in Florida, right? And people, we didn't even tell people we were going to Florida just because we knew that there would be, why are you going to Florida?
Travel shaming.
Right now.
Exactly.
Shaming. Absolutely. But but whatever. So where was I going?
That you were surprised by the crowds? Is that
I was really surprised by the crowds at Disney Springs. It just, when I heard that the parks are at a specific capacity, I was like, there's no way Disney Springs is capping attendance, because to me it was like a regular July night in 2019.
Wow.
The place was packed. And it was a little uneasy for us just because
I felt
this was the first time we were out in a big group of people. And so we went to the Boathouse, and again, I was kind of expecting that certain tables would be blocked off for social distancing or whatever, and they weren't. The whole everywhere was every table was seated.
That's surprising. That's really surprising. Now, Boathouse isn't owned by Disney, and I'm wondering if that made a difference, because I don't know that.
And that's what I was thinking too.
That.
But we had a really good meal, and so the highlight of the meal, as we're walking out, I saw this guy with this big poofy hair, and I heard his voice was like, "That's Len Testa."
Oh yeah.
And my wife's like, "Who?" I'm like, that's the guy. I was like, "That's Len Testa," and I'm like, I gotta go ask him for a picture. Yeah. And so I did. I went and I interact with Len a lot through email. But I was like, finally got the chance to meet him and get a picture. It was just kind of funny. But my wife's like, why are you going to go bother this poor man's dinner with his family and ask him to take a picture with you? But
that's
it was
awesome.
worth it.
That's awesome.
It was cool. I should have sent that picture too, but I didn't.
You sent me a picture of one of my favorites, the Big Fat Panda.
Oh,
and I don't know where the picture went. I had it. Is that you saw him this trip, or is that a different trip?
That was a different time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when you could get close to people and without wearing a mask.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot to bring that over. So, you also went to Celebration Town Tavern, and what did you have at Celebration Town Tavern? That's like New England style seafood. Celebration Town Tavern.
Yeah, we were super impressed with that place. You had to take a temperature before you went inside. Everybody was wearing masks. Tables were spread out, but it was delicious. I just had a steak. My wife had shrimp and said it was just amazing. I don't know what my kids had, but they're not adventurous eaters, but it was a great meal. And I think the experience was better than the Boathouse. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
I really like Celebration Town Tavern. It's one of the places Rich and I like to go when we're in Orlando off-site. So
go back, and if you could sit outside, it's really cute outside, right there on the corner, and just watching people walk by. And Celebration is a beautiful little town.
Oh yeah, it is.
We'd never been there before, but
Beth wants to move to Celebration. Yeah, Beth, we all do. Well, I know I want to move to Golden Oak, but if I'm going to dream, I'm going to dream big. So what is she asking about driving? How is it driving unfamiliar roads if you have bad night vision?
Well,
Go ahead, Dave. You want to take
No, I was just say, you can always just use your phone and track where you're going. And also, we use Uber a lot or Lyft.
Yeah.
And it's very cheap if you're close enough to the parks or the house. And I would advise maybe at night just use an Uber or Lyft. Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, Beth. I do drive Orlando during the day, but I don't like to drive at night and in unfamiliar. So I usually do an Uber or a Lyft at night myself. But
yeah, we do that a lot when we're there.
So at Boathouse, it looks like you had the filet mignon sliders, because I had those too when I was there,
which never disappoint.
No, those look really good.
And they're good value. I think that's like
it is. Like $14 or something for that plate. Which
really?
It's a signature restaurant.
Yeah, $15. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And those are like fish tacos. Looks like
they were the fish tacos. Yep.
Look at the avocado in there. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll tell you, the Boathouse is a signature restaurant, but they do have some meals and things available that if you're not wanting to spend a fortune, you can eat there and still have a good meal. That's what I experienced. What is this, a bathroom? Did you send me a picture of a bathroom, Brian? What am I looking at?
Hey, bathrooms are awesome. One's in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I did.
Tile. Every time I go to the bathroom in Animal Kingdom, I'm like, I want this tile in my house.
Why did you send me a picture of the bathroom?
Okay.
Is that like frogs on the floor?
Yeah, I think they were frogs.
Or turtles.
Okay.
Those are turtles. Or maybe that could be frogs.
I
like the ones with the lizards.
Let's see.
Oh, how dare you, Tom?
I have a weird fascination with good bathrooms.
Oh, okay.
At Disney World. Like, I think there's people that can agree with me here, but I like to be able to have my privacy sometimes when you just want to get some thinking done, maybe scroll through the app for a while, just kind of relax a little bit. But that's one of the best bathrooms, in my opinion, in the parks. It's right by the entrance to Dino Land. It's kind of like hidden off to the side.
Yeah.
But yeah. I can't remember why I put it in there, but
I don't know. Like, what is that? A bathroom? Yeah, it's a bathroom.
He's
messing. If you're looking for a good place to go to the bathroom, that's my pick in Animal Kingdom.
Well, Scott Daves knows all the good bathrooms too. He knows all the good ones. Yep.
Yeah, all the companion. They know where all these nice companion bathrooms are, don't they, Toni-Ann?
So Brian did just send me the pictures of him with Len Testa.
Yeah.
And I see, actually, that picture really does show how the tables, how many people they're packing in there.
That's like a normal, there's no social distancing there at all.
No, if you look in the background. But that's cool that you saw Len. That's awesome.
And he was so gracious and just so nice.
Yeah. Really nice.
He was just a nice guy.
Great.
But yeah, you can see like every single table, someone was sitting there. Yeah, it was a busy night that night, and I think it was like a Monday.
A weeknight.
It was a weeknight. Yeah.
Wow. So, what else did you do with the week? You went to Disney Springs twice. What did you just lounge by the pool, or did you explore Orlando, or?
We didn't. So, like, we really just like enjoyed having our own pool for a week. You know, we hung out at the pool. We really didn't venture out. Like I thought about going like mini putting or something like that, but the kids just like loved having like that media room like was a lifesaver just because like again we could like shut the lights off, put on Netflix or Disney Plus, and just kind of veg out for a couple hours. So we did that a lot. We spent a ton of time in the pool. We ate out a lot. We did a lot of takeout. But like we didn't explore. I mean, I guess I explored a little bit when I'd go out to get food and bring food back. But really, like the only exploring we did was at Disney Springs. And or Celebration in Disney Springs. But it got towards like the middle of the week, and I told my daughter like, we should do something. We should go somewhere, either Disney World or we were thinking Volcano Bay at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
And the reason I was thinking Volcano Bay is because I kept seeing like the crowds were really low there, and it was just like a really good time to go. For one reason or another, we decided to do the Magic Kingdom instead. Okay. And now looking back on it, the entire day, the Splash Mountain was down. And that was really the only reason I wanted to go, was to ride Splash Mountain.
Right, because you don't know when it's going to close. None of us know when it's going to close, so you want to get on
I know.
That. So how did you do it in the heat? Because this is July. How did you do in the heat with the masks?
Honestly, and my kids, they did absolutely perfect.
Good.
They were no complaints. I can remember the first 10 minutes in the park, we walked past a cast member by the teacups, and my son took a drink out of the bottled water and just pulled his mask down to drink the water.
Right.
And the cast member was like, "You need to keep your mask up. You can't take your mask down." I mean, like literally he went like that to take a sip of water, which kind of made me feel good that they were enforcing it, right? Like that they weren't just kind of like, okay, but they're on top of it.
Oh yeah,
they are.
They really are.
Yeah.
So you're in Magic Kingdom. So there was the crowds back in July were like non-existent. I remember.
There was literally, it was 20, like, so we parked, and that was a whole nother thing too, which is, so we got there early. I thought I'd get there early enough to be like the first car in, and we got to the booth, and the lady's like, we're not letting any cars in. You have to drive around. She said, go to the gas station, get a cup of coffee, and then come back.
Dave experienced that at Hollywood Studios.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost. Even, and I had the Google Maps and everything, and I had to drive all the way around, and finally got back before they let us in. But it's funny, when we got on the ferry boat, it was us, me and my two kids, and then a mom and her two kids, and that was it on the entire boat. And we were the first boat to leave. And so when you talk about crowds, it was funny because we kept passing these people during the day.
Like, the same
we kept
family,
seeing the same people. Yeah, it's like, how often does that happen at Walt Disney World? Right? You see the same people like more than once.
Yeah.
You know, and then it was funny because at the end of the day, we got on the boat and it was us and them again on the boat on the way back. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so the crowds were. I took a picture of Main Street at like 11:30 or noon, and I mean, you could count the people on there. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like closing.
And like that's right around lunchtime.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah. Look at Frontierland. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's Frontierland first thing in the morning, and there was one cast member.
And there's Liberty Square.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that area right there is always packed right there.
That's a bottleneck right there. Liberty Square. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not looking like that anymore because the crowds have arrived. It's 35%. I'm complaining. I probably shouldn't be, but we're not walking on things anymore, but that's okay.
Yeah, but they just decided to open it up to 35%. They could go a lot higher if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh, the governor of Florida won't stop them, but
no, he said they can go to 100% if they want to.
But Disney won't do
that. So that's good for Disney. They're just still taking it slow, baby steps. So that's good.
Yeah.
I did like your guys' discussion on the last podcast. I don't know which number it was.
So what's your answer? Was it worth it for you guys?
For my family, just for my family, for us, I would say yes.
Okay.
I'd say 100% it was worth it for us. For if we had never been before, if this was our first time, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I don't recommend it for first timers. I don't think that they'll get what we get. I said Mandy's going to be on the show next week, and she came back and said it was probably one of her most magical trips. But I think that's because for them there's nostalgia. They have been missing it, whereas people who have never been before, I don't know that, they don't.
It was hard. I will say during the course of the day, like it just didn't feel, I didn't feel that magic. Like I just didn't feel it. It was more like when we go to a Six Flags and we're just going to attraction to attraction.
From one ride to the next, right?
Yeah. And part of what we love so much about Walt Disney World is being able to kind of like hit an attraction, let's go to Sleepy Hollow and eat a waffle and just hang out for, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then go to the next thing. Oh, there's, a street performer here, whatever. Yeah. And just missing a lot of those special things was difficult.
Yeah, but I know exactly what you mean. Because you're just going from ride to ride. There's not much in between, other than snacks and things like that, but not that magic.
And it's crazy because as a travel agent, like, we want to book trips for people. We want to help create magic.
You want to
sell
people. The magic.
But like right now, I'm telling people, no, it's like, it's difficult. Like if I had a first time family saying, this is our one and only trip to Disney World, we want to do it big, I would be like, wait a little while and let's see, what happens.
There's not even fireworks. So I did want to talk a little bit about, Travis had posted this picture. I don't know. He must have got it from some website, I'm sure. So I don't know who to give credit for this picture. There were fireworks last night over Magic Kingdom. They're testing fireworks, which kind of confuses me because last week a news article came out that they had laid off the fireworks technicians. So I don't know. So maybe fireworks will be back.
And I mean, and that's a question I had too. So are they just like testing the fireworks for Happily Ever After, or are they working on something new, or just like getting the kinks out? Or you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. Because last month there were barges seen near Epcot, and there were nighttime, middle of the night firework runs in Epcot, and then last month they said they were letting the firework technicians go. So Travis said this picture is courtesy of the Mickey blog. Okay. I'll give them credit. That's courtesy of the Mickey blog.
Yeah, I did see a few people on Instagram post that.
I think they're getting ready for Christmas or the New Year. They're going to do something, maybe.
I would have thought they would have announced that by now. I don't know.
I don't know. They don't announce anything.
You think New Year's Eve they'll surprise everybody with a New Year's Eve show?
I think they might do something. Just saying.
That's a lot.
Someone maybe like Hanover told me something's going on.
That's a lot of money for 35% capacity, though.
I don't know. I mean, it's not going to be the big shebang, but who knows?
I'm not sure. So, and something else I wanted to share a picture was that came out this week. There's the pictures of the Star Wars Star Cruiser Resort, and it does look a little bit claustrophobic. Somebody said that those bunk beds. I don't think an adult could sleep in one of those bunk beds.
I want one of those adult sized so I can go hide in that thing.
I don't know.
What do you guys think of that? Could you do that?
For $1,000 a night? I don't know.
I know, right?
I would love to. I don't think Dave's into it, but I would love to. If Josh wants to invite me, I'll stay.
Oh, jeez. Oh, him and his tight jeans. Oh, jeez.
$1,000 a night. You could have the Airbnb for like, I don't know, 3 nights.
Oh,
for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have the house, Brian. Actually, Toni-Ann, you go there, and I'll go to the house.
Okay. You and Brian go to the house. If that's, Magic Kingdom would be, I think Epcot is a better park for fireworks just because of the lagoon, the way the lagoon is, and because there's viewing from 360. I think Epcot is a better park for fireworks myself, but. Oh.
Okay,
Scott said Josh hasn't said because Scott and Josh are close personal friends. Scott, you need to send me that picture, and I'll save it for when I want to just pull it out. picture of you two together.
She just wants to blow it up and put it in her bedroom somewhere, I think.
That's weird.
It is weird. I know.
Why would I want to blow up a picture of Scott in my bedroom?
Not Scott, it was Josh.
Oh, okay. So Travis is on tonight, and he went to McDonald's today and begged the manager at McDonald's to sell him every Disney toy at McDonald's. Apparently, they're $2 each if you buy it without the Happy Meal. But they're...
Oh, no. It is kind of goofy.
Oh, Expedition Everest. This is Goofy on Expedition Everest and Pluto on the Jungle Cruise. Okay. Actually, that's supposed to be Mickey on Mission Space, but it looks like the Astro Orbiter to me.
Remember when they had the ones in the bus a few years ago? All the characters in the little bus.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Toy Story one. You got that.
I did that. I went there and
bought
them all.
It was the RV.
Yeah.
Right.
Now my grandkids came over and I had it all displayed up there real nice. And I'm like, keep it forever. And they're like, Papa Dave, can I have that? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Take it. So
you're a pushover. You're a pushover.
Okay. Go ahead.
So Brian, when are you coming back? Are you coming back or are you going to wait till all this blows over?
Well, I want to come back for G3.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I do or not, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I wouldn't let for G3, I would certainly do it. As far as the next time we come back with my family, I don't know. I told my wife it's going to be a while
before you go back. Family wise,
yeah.
So, if anybody doesn't know, G3 is approximately February 18th to the 22nd, give or take. There are people coming before, there are people staying after, but those are the basic dates that G3 is, and it's a big reunion of the Geekin' podcast family, of all the friends and family. And Kurt encouraged us the other night when we talked to him to please, if you're a crusher and you don't know the geeks very well, come on, we're all going to be there, and everybody's really friendly, and you will get a big hug from Ben Chesler. He will come and give you a big hug, and any qualms you had will melt away. So everybody's really looking forward to that, and if I encourage anybody who wants to come, but I can't wait.
I'm holding a meet at Festival of the Lion King.
Yeah, that's what I heard. You and Travis and Judy.
And Judy. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Festival of Lion King meetup starring Brian Wall. Yep. So, was there anything else that you wanted to tell us about, Brian? Anything that people can reach you at the email address that Dave posted? Where's the email address, Dave?
Yeah, if somebody wants to book through me, I'm one of the agents at Fairytale Concierge, the same agency that Mandy Ray works for.
Stop talking about Mandy. I brought you on so you could talk.
Well, it's funny because
she gets enough free press from us.
I know, right? She gets enough free press. No, but yeah, Dad Lightyear. No, I did. FTC@gmail.com.
Dad Lightyear.
I'm on Instagram, Facebook. Yeah. Okay. And like I said, right now, I have one client right now, and they're not going until December of 2021. So.
Okay, well, we want to get you some more clients. If you want to know more about that house, the Airbnb, definitely contact Brian. And if you have any Disney trips you want to plan, contact Brian. And I know the agents at Fairytale Concierge are full service agents. They help you with planning your vacation. They look out for discounts for you. My agent called me today and said, "Hey, there's a new discount. Let's look into it." And so that's the great thing about Fairytale Concierge is it really is a true full service agency. I think the only thing you guys can't do is the park passes, right? Because of the COVID disclaimer. I think they have to, right?
Yeah, so you have to go in and select your days yourself. Yeah. And I will tell you, it's like one of the best feelings in the world is to find a really good discount for a client and be able to send them an email or call them. I had a client that was supposed to be going this summer, and I had saved him like $900. And I called him, and he was just like so excited about it. And because like his wife initially wanted to book the trip, she didn't want to go through a travel agent because, you know, she thought that it was going to cost money, or thought that she wasn't going to be able to plan as much as she wanted to. But I told her, let me book the trip. You can handle everything else. Let me do the discount monitoring for you. You can plan your fast passes. You can do your dining, and that makes my job a lot easier.
Absolutely,
so,
absolutely. But you know what? That those people, if anybody that's had to change their plans during this crisis, anybody that had a travel agent is so grateful, because they save you so much aggravation dealing with Disney IT and waiting on hold for Disney. I would never go back to not using a travel agent again. And I can book myself. I did it for years, but definitely give one of the agents at Fairytale Concierge a chance. So, and tonight we're putting the spotlight on Brian, because he was gracious enough to come on and tell us about this amazing home that he can hook you up with. That's not it. That's it. 5 bedrooms, 7 beds, a private pool, a pool table,
game room,
a game room with a theater, home theater, barbecue. It's just amazing.
That hot tub. Really? I'd be in that hot tub a lot.
You
right
would.
There.
You would, Dave.
Yeah. You find me in the hot tub.
In there, yeah.
Yeah, man. That's it. Beautiful view.
Guys, did anybody have any questions for Brian? Any of our listeners or anybody watching? No? Notre Dame. You either love them or
they're dogging Brian.
I'm
I think.
a huge Notre Dame fan.
That's why.
Oh, okay. You'll get a jar of Maramite if you book with Brian.
Oh, yeah. He'll send the jar that Kevin sent him. Fighting Irish.
Put those up again. I had some stuff in the way. You can't.
That's.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Fighting Irish.
Fun girl. Yeah, big fan.
So Brian is dadlightyear.ftc@gmail.com. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us tonight. You can find Brian on Facebook, Brian Wahl, WAHL, and he will help you plan your next trip. He is on the Geekin' Family Podcast Facebook group, and you can find him there. He's also on Friends of the Disney Crush, so you could write a note to him there, and he'll respond. He's pretty responsive, so.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Brian, and I hope that we get to see each other at G3. I can't wait to go see Festival of the Lion King with you. I'm really
excited. I'm really excited. I tried to watch it today, and I knew that I was going to have to watch it over and over again if I put it on once. I was like, I can't do it. But no, thank you guys for inviting me to come on. I'm sorry I couldn't make it last week.
Oh, don't worry about
it. But okay. Yeah, it was crazy.
Brian had a power outage last week.
Yeah, the whole block.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. That's okay, Brian. We really appreciate you, man. So thanks for coming on.
We really do. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Everybody, thank you for listening tonight. And new podcast comes out tomorrow. It'll be an interview with Tom Ellison, who came from the Pacific Northwest. And we ask everybody right now the question, is it worth it? And you'll hear what Tom had to say if you listen to this week's podcast coming out tomorrow night.
Because he came a lot of miles, a long way to come.
He did. He crossed a lot of time zones.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Brian. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.